if you're talking to a potential financial advisor, I'd ask you to ask him this one question. So I have a friend of mine who's a CFP. He's been in the business a number of years, and he texted me about a fund that one of his clients had. That he's like, explain this to me. And I appreciate that. Like not everybody knows everything. I look back after my first 10 years. I had a CFP. I was in the business 10 years. And I look about the ignorance I had back then compared to what I know now, and it's the difference between night and day. And it's a learning experience for this guy, but let him learn on other people's money, if that makes sense, not yours. And I'm not naming names or anything. He's a good guy. He's a better financial advisor than most financial advisors out there, without question. And he's doing it the right way. I was disappointed that he wasn't able to put these two and two together, though. And so if he can't, I can. That's where I'm disappointed, because if he can't, how many other people who aren't, if he's playing in a different field than these other guys, let's put it that way, in a better field. So how many of those other people who aren't playing the same ballpark? All right. So, oh man, this is frustrating to me, because I'm trying to say it in a deliberate, what's the word I'm looking for? A deliberate manner, without, a diplomatic manner, without bashing the industry or this guy specifically. But all right, so if you're looking, you're being solicited by a financial advisor, and you're kind of interested in talking to them, because maybe, I don't know, I get a lot of men. They want to make sure their wives are not getting taken advantage of, blah, blah, blah. All right, as we sit here now, look at PONAX. And what is it, phonetics? That'd be Papa, Oscar, right? Oscar, November, Alpha, X-ray. PONAX. Ask him to look up that and just say, hey, this is a fund I'm looking at. What do you think? PONAX. All right, don't say anything more than that. Just ask him, what do you think about this fund? Now, because it's a fund that they haven't recommended to you, that you're essentially asking the guy about, the potential financial advisor, they're gonna have negatives on it. But the question is, what are those negatives? And this is an easy one, man. All right, so they're obviously going to look at why this fund sucks, because they want to sell you their funds. So they're going in it with, you're giving them, half the game away anyway. So, hey, look at this fund. Let's think about this. PONAX, it's a good company, PIMCO. They've been around a long time. It's 4-star rating. Just what do you think? So you're giving them the opportunity to tell you why this fund is concerning to you, if that makes sense. All right, the reason why it's concerning to you is frankly because it has a significantly higher yield than a typical bond fund, even though its expenses are through the roof. All right. So if the expenses on a bond fund are well above 1%, that's 100 basis points, which in this case it is. It's like 1.5 or something. I think it's 1.65. Yeah, I think it might be 1.65. If you're paying 1.65 for a bond fund, man, you're dealing in some serious, and you're getting a higher than normal yield. You're dealing with some serious heavy risk there. I mean, don't forget the 30-year Treasury right now. The 30-year Treasury, as you see here today, 11:10 on so it's 11 a.m. in the morning on February 11th. The 30-year bond fund right now is paying 1.93. So you can lock up your money for the most risk-free investment there is, U.S. government debt, and you're getting less than 2%. So if you have if you have a bond fund that's cost you almost the equivalent of the yield of the 30-year, and yet you're still netting over 4%, that tells you one thing only. There's some serious risk in there. Serious. That's impossible. Let's just put that way, unless they're taking on risk. So how are they taking on risk? Well, they're taking on risk inherently by buying a bunch of junk. We know that for a fact, but it's even worse than that. They're leveraged to the hilt. Huge leverage in that fund. All right, so you're looking for that as an answer. Hey, Mr. Smith, or Mr. Financial Advisor with the CFP and the SEMA and the CFA, I'm looking at this bond fund. It looks pretty good. I'm getting 4.25, whatever the yield is on it right now. That 4-star rating from Morningstar is PIMCO, well-known company. What's wrong with that? Whoa, everything's wrong with it because, well, okay, why? And if he just says along the lines, well, it's multi-sector bond, it's it's if he just says that, that doesn't bother me. I mean, multi-sector bond in of itself is not a deal breaker. If he says, well, because it's lower than investment grade bonds, that's a start. Good. That means junk bonds. So if he says multi-sector, that is not negative. Because it's junk bond, okay, good. That I would say, all right, that's good. We wanted to hear him say, well, if he has the yield that high relative to the typical bond fund and the expenses that high too, I mean, those two things, that would inherently imply there's lots and lots of risk in there. A high yield with a high expense relative to right now where the bond funds are on average, there's something wrong there. So it does have some serious big junk in there, as the prospectus will tell you right there on the front. You just read it. It says it invests 50% of the assets of prospectuses and below investment grade bonds, i.e. junk bonds. Hopefully it'll say the part two of this. It has options. It has some options in there. It has some leverages. Has some swaps. Has some derivatives. All that stuff. And then that'd be number two. Number three is it's leveraged. You can see it has a lot of short positions as well. Nothing inherently wrong with that, but I'm just telling you, if you're doing all of that, you might as well just be in stocks, man. If you're doing all that and getting four, you might as well just be in stocks. And hopefully a financial advisor will be able to pick that up pretty quickly. And again, I'm not blaming my man here. I don't know, and I appreciate him coming to me. And I'm never gonna. Look, man. I mean, I told him. I said, dude. All right, so look, I'm not here to pussyfoot around with people who seek my advice. I'm just not. I'm here to tell them the truth, and sometimes that might come across as being an ass. I don't care. If you're managing people's money, you have a responsibility to know what's going on, and sometimes that means you get tough love. And that's what I'm going to give to my man here. You just text me right now. I can tell he's kind of taken back. Frankly, that's fine. Tough love, man. You got to figure this stuff out on your own, and you do that by someone telling you how to do it. And sometimes they're going to have to say, look, I've had that happen to me. Man, I remember my man Dave Tedesco, R.I.P. brother. Freaking talk about ass's ass, but it's like your drill sergeant, dude. I always remember Tedesco. That guy took me under the wing when I went to USA and basically told me I didn't know crap, and he was right. And I was offended. I was pissed. I said, this guy's an ass, but he was right. I didn't know crap. And then I got to listen to him with his clients. And I said, man, this guy, he knows crap. And it's funny because he comes from an insurance background. And I said, some insurance guy, what the hell does he know? He knew a whole hell of a lot more than I did. That's for sure. And I learned, man. And I learned. I said, okay, maybe every now and again, put my arrogance aside and just listen. And I did. Long story short, I'm better for that. And that's the way I am, too. I learned from Dave Tedesco, who loved Italian food. And he died too early, man. Died too early. Sad. I think he was only 55 or something like that. Died too early. But he, his name will go on with me because he took me, freaking slapped me around. Just like drill sergeant. This is what basic training does, man. They take you in, they freaking knock you down, then build you back up better. Build back better, says Sniffy Joe. That's what Tedesco did to me when I went to USAA. He took me in, we went down to had some Starbucks, slapped me around, came back up, and it's the best training I ever had. I'll never forget that. But during that time, it freaking sucked. I was pissed. I wanted to punch that guy. I think he would have smoked. I don't know. Maybe he would not have. I think he was bigger than me. But I think I could have got. I think I could have taken him. It would not have mattered. He served me right, dude. And he's up there with the good Lord right now, looking down and saying, my prodigy, is that what's called? Prodigy, whatever it is. My prodigy, Scanlon's out there helping out people that he can show the light to as well. So that's what you do, man. Find out if your financial advisor knows this. All right, we'll see you.